We're live.
We are live.
Oh, it gives you a little notification up top. Isn't that adorable?
Does. It sure does. Welcome back. Welcome back, Lab Coat Agents. What are we, Noelle? 18. Viral video number 18.
I don't know. You're keeping count. I lose track.
I am.
I lose track.
I am keeping track. And we are excited this week to be bringing on Mr. Social Savvy, Jesse Peters. Welcome to the show, my friend.
This is a big
What's
day.
up? It is a big day. This is fun. This is kind of like a central North America connecting here, like starting up top where I live in Winnipeg, then Minnesota, then Missouri. What's up?
Can we call ourselves the Midwest still? Does that count for you? Like Midwest in Canada?
Midwestern Nova? Midwest the Peg? Midwest Peg? I don't know. There's got to be something. View's got to come up with something. But literally, we're like right down the middle of this wonderful continent.
It's not often that it's all Midwesterners doing this sort of thing. So this is cool.
It's funny but what's funny in Canada, we're called the Prairies, not Midwesterners.
Oh,
like
the
I'm in the
Prairie.
middle of Canada, and so we're the Prairies.
Well, Little House on the Prairie is really from Minnesota, but you know we're kind of like Canada up here.
Sure. Yeah. You would be close. You would be the state that I probably frequent the most.
Well, I understand.
I love Minnesota. Love. Yes, the land of 10,000
lakes. I have not been into Canada yet.
Well, do you have your passport?
Well, I do. I think we should meet on the border and see what happens.
We could in the town of Emerson, right on the border there. We could.
Yes.
We definitely could. I would welcome you there with open arms, my friend. So.
And we're just the hillbillies down here in Missouri.
Missouri.
That's what they say. That's what what the backwoods people say.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah,
so Mizzou, is that university there? Mizzou? Is that how it's pronounced? Mizzou.
Yeah.
I used to date a girl that used to go there. Like, Mizzou, I'd never heard of it in my life. My zoo, that's odd. Anyway,
my Z, baby.
All right. Okay. So should we get into this? Because we've got a lot to talk about. We are going to be covering a ton. I have a feeling. Guys, we haven't even talked about what we're going to be covering because it's that easy to talk to Jesse about video for us. So we are just going to cover all sorts of things. We're going to cover whatever questions that you have that you ask us. So ask them away because we're monitoring. We'll get to your questions. And I feel like we really need to do an introduction here for Mr. Jesse Peters.
Yes.
So Jesse, tell us.
What's up? Let's roll.
We just mentioned you're in Canada. Where in Canada are you?
I am in the middle of Canada in a lovely city called Winnipeg. It's kind of like the island of the prairies. We are surrounded by a sea of prairies. My city's about 825,000 people. And people often say, hey, are you close to Toronto or Vancouver? And I say, hell no. It's a 24-hour drive east to get to Toronto, and it's like a 29-hour drive west to get to Vancouver. So we're actually just above. We're an hour north of the North Dakota border. Did I say that? Did I bring my?
Yes, I mean it's okay. So, it's pretty close.
That's okay, but that's how we do it. So well, I'm like 7-hour drive from you.
Yeah, which I mean that's ridiculous. We have to get together. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, make it up. We're doing it.
We're doing it. Done.
Yeah.
So Jesse was speaking, if you all remember, when Jeff and I were at the Rehumanize event. And that was when Jesse and I first got connected. Because I don't know if you remember this, Jesse, but I came up to you and I said, wow, I don't usually compliment people on their real estate videos, but I have to compliment you because it's rare that I find somebody that has impressive videos to me. And
thank you.
It's true, and it still is true. And now we're friends on Facebook, and I'm living your life vicariously through your social media, which is on fire. You're on Instagram. You do the stories masterfully. And I have I'm just in awe. Like I know that he ran a half marathon by accident, basically. Like who does that? Last week, I'm still
you're telling me
recovering from the half marathon I ran. How did that go for you?
Oh, the run itself, it was pretty. It was. I'm at a loss for words with it. It was. I started running pretty regularly now, and I wasn't a runner. Like I'm on this gym journey mode since like December, and I've been like vlogging, diarizing this gym journey. And Jeff and you and I spoke about it on the podcast, diarizing this on social, on Insta stories only. Now it's going on to Facebook stories. But so training in the gym, just trying to be active. I turned 40. I haven't turned it yet, but just got a couple of kids, just life-changing moments. What's going on here? Holding myself accountable, doing it in video, done it with my 30 favorite places in 30 days, all these video challenges. I'm like, I got to use this for my own personal life, right? To even just hold myself accountable, even outside of real estate. So we begin this journey 5, 6, 7 months. Then it became nice outside. And I was like, well, why don't I start running? I hate running. But after 6 months, right? Like I was the guy that quit playing soccer because I had to run. It's not like I was ever a heavy guy. I just did not like running, right? And so, yeah, started running, started getting into 3 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, and continually like 50 miles. I ran 55 miles in June. So I was like, all right, well, you're good. Let's keep it going. So one day, I know this is a long story here, but I was like, I got some time over the lunch hour in between appointments, hold myself accountable to do an activity. So I'm like, I'm going to run from one of my real estate offices to the other. Google map it, 7.5 miles, there and back. Easy. Let's go. I'm rolling. I'm good. All of a sudden, 7.5. I'm like, oh, I still got time between appointments. Let's do 10 miles, right? I'm at 10. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. Starting to rain. Well, I'd be kicking myself in the butt if I'm only 3 miles away from completing a half marathon. I'm like, why not keep running? So I just kept running. But the funny thing was, I hadn't planned out my route, right? So while I'm running, like every mile, I'm like, I had to get back to my office. So I was like, Google Maps, how many miles to my office? But like doing okay, I'm 2.7 miles away. Okay, I got to run farther so that I could actually end by my office. And then it starts pouring rain. I'm like, well, at least it was a good shower. So I did 13.1 miles in 2 hours and 5 minutes and did not train for a half marathon.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Long story short,
so
it just wasn't.
Let's touch on this for a second, because I have a feeling that video and doing video and keeping yourself accountable via video is a huge part of that. And
1,000%.
And so you can use video, which is what we've been trying to tell these people. You can use video for so much more than just real estate. Like it can make you a better person, right?
Without question. And that's what I'm realizing. It's not like an epiphany or anything, but I'm utilizing video. Like I've been doing video for 5, 6 years, like nonstop real estate related and some personal, but now it's kind of, the real estate stuff still is happening because it has to happen. But now it's more, I know how to utilize video because of the real estate, and I'm bringing it to other areas of my life, right? To accountable, what's funny, what's my life. And I'm inspiring others now without even knowing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, if I'm not putting out, they need to see what we're doing because you never know who you're helping. And by keeping that to yourself, I think you can do more good by sharing with the right mindset or for the right reasons, right? And people are like, why should I share that? Because someone needs to see that. That's what I'm doing.
100%. 1,000,000%. And it's funny because
I couldn't agree more.
Noelle and I have done this exact same thing. And we were doing it the same weekend in June, right?
Yeah, running marathons, running a half marathon. I'm not a runner either. Mm-mm.
But it's just a simple concept of sharing it through social, sharing it on video, and how many people actually are interested in that. And you'd be surprised. I agree with you.
Because it's relatable stuff.
Yes.
Like, it's not like I'm LeBron James here, like that lives in a different echelon of life, Like, this is Jesse from the prairies who's got 2 kids just like me, who weighed 232 pounds in hibernating weight. And now 7 months later, he's not on any program. He's just trying to be active and doing a mindset and holding himself accountable and sharing that. I'm just like the parents, the dads, the almost 40s, the mid 40s, the almost 20s. We all have these things to connect with. And by sharing like the struggles in my head or the thoughts, I'm not sharing me lifting or doing anything. Just like, hey, checking in, I'm at it. Weather sucks, don't want to be here, but I'm doing it. Yeah. Right? Like, I had 3 people today say, hey, I'm back running after doing the half marathon. I had to let my body recover. I tagged 5 people who are doing the hashtag Gym Journey Jog Club thing with me. And one of the gals, Jen O'Brien, she's like, I wasn't even going to work out today because I didn't feel like it. And you tagged me and held me accountable. And away I go.
Yeah.
Better living.
We have
connecting. Video, connecting.
Totally. Well, and so on here, somebody else is commenting. Aaron Bang is commenting. Jeff saying it matches the Monday mission. I do a live every Monday. And this morning I did a live about everybody has a story to share. And you never know when your own story is going to be the thing that so-and-so down the street that's watching you on Facebook needed to hear to get them through their day that they're having. Right. And I feel like as realtors, when we're in such a people-driven business, it's the number one way that we can just help people and get in front of people is on Facebook and on Instagram, just being genuine and authentic and real and sharing who we are. When we have lows, we share those. We don't always just share the highs or the perfect stuff. So anyway.
Exactly. And you know what? That kind of circles back to kind of where we all connected at Rehumanize. Rehumanizing social through video, or rehumanizing relationships through video, through social, through one-to-one emails, right? Because that's just the way the world's connecting right now, right? And so it's the more you understand that, it's now how are you using it to get out, not to hide behind.
Yes, totally.
Totally agree. So you know what else you could be using this for? So you said you have a running club now. Are you creating like a separate Facebook group just for the club?
No, not a Facebook group. We've started an Instagram group, and then we'll start doing, what is it that you can add people in the Instagram stories? Yeah. Well,
on Instagram?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Now I want to go to Instagram so bad.
What?
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we know what another topic is. That's a whole nother topic.
They're DM groups.
Okay. A DM, not a PM.
So if you click chat, if you add chat onto your, can you see that screen?
Yeah.
It says join chat. When you hit chat, you can say, hey, who's interested in running, or who wants to talk about listing videos, or who wants to do whatever. And then people say, yeah. And then it's a live streaming DM chat.
Wow. That's amazing. Cool.
So imagine like Rudy, or you want something for your neighborhood, or you're wanting just to like find like-minded people around the world for certain interests. Like, you tag it right, you're going to get found even more. It's just connecting.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, so let's talk.
I have not yet, Jeff, to answer your question, but that is definitely something that's on the radar.
Hell yes.
I'm mind blown already. We can. I'll just shut my laptop now.
Don't do that.
Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about balance of the lives and the Instagram stories and Facebook stories versus the produced videos. What, you started out doing more produced stuff, and I have a feeling now that you've segued a little bit away from it as much as you probably used to do, and are now more into the stories and the lives. And how is that going? What would you say your percentages really are of what you're doing?
Yeah, you know what, like all my produced stuff is for my listing videos now. There are a few projects on the radar that I think we'll get back to kind of diving into like some different series, Peg City Love, all that jazz, like stuff city related. But in terms of consistent video creation, like I'm 90% of what I create, I'm doing myself through this device right here.
Mhm.
But like we sell a lot. Like we're doing, myself and my partner, we sell 80, 90 homes. And so there's 80, 90 listing videos, right? A year, right? So that's getting done for a few different reasons. More polished marketing, more branding opportunities in there, piggybacking on the listings advertising to also showcase the stuff that you don't know about a home when you see the photos or the video, right? And kind of it's a 2-for-1 deal that has to happen and for our model and what we do. And we've been doing that. I've been doing that for almost 6 years now. But yeah, now it's all here. The conversations are happening more. If you're not looking for real estate, you're not going to see my listing videos. But if you want to see what's going on or learn more, like most people are buying every 6 to 8 years or whatever stat you want to say, right? So I'm more top. You got to stay top of mind everywhere else. So there's a lot of brand building, long-term relationship building, and to be honest, like the stuff I'm putting on here is not to get business in the end. That's not even my. It's just I'm a creative. I love always been an entertainer. I've been a storyteller. I've been a mascot. I've been a bartender. I've been a theater student. Like I just fit into this naturally. My career is real estate, first generation. So I don't know. Like I'm not gifted a book of business, right? So they kind of go hand in hand. But I'm not creating the run club to try to get business out of. Right. Yeah. And I think you got to be smart with that because that stuff can be detected in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Like if it's not authentic, people sniff it out instantly. It's
so easy now that 100%.
I think the way people need to think about it is you're creating raving fans. You're creating people who are interested in following your life. And Jesse does. If you don't follow Jesse, you should, because he's so passionate. And actually, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but I've never seen a man cry as much as I've seen Jesse cry on social media. And I mean like legitimately cry. And I think that is like it's like, what? And then I just keep watching.
Yeah. Well, those are like I'm comfortable sharing vulnerable moments in my life. Like I'm not crying over move that bus anymore on Extreme Home Makeover, but like maybe once in a while. It depends. What is it with the flip this couple in Waco, Texas? They still kind of get me, but I'm comfortable sharing struggles. I'm comfortable sharing achievements I never thought I'd be able to make. Right. And I'm comfortable letting those emotions go through me. But yeah, that is also my personality. Right.
Yeah.
So my brothers make fun of me a lot about it, but whatever.
In some ways, I feel like I'm sort of that Jesse is the male version of me. Like we are also, this is so weird, Jesse, but we are very much the same, which is why we hit it off instantly.
Exactly.
I tend to cry on my videos too, and all my agents make fun of me. But when you're being authentic and real, sometimes you just can't help it. It just happens. And
you know what? There's never been a regret when I've cried. I've never regretted any of it, and there's never been a negative from it. Right? So it's just like I think the world needs more of that, actually, or that's what they're looking for. Like Jeff, you keep watching, right? Or like, what are they gonna do? I had more people talk to me about my run than the dozen houses I just put on the market. They're like, what did you just do?
Yeah.
And I also captured it for 20 seconds, right? Like I was thinking about it before coming over here. Isn't it bizarre how today's world is more and more like the Truman Show, right? Yeah. All little moments placed in. Now I'm like, how did they know that? Like, I would love to go back and watch that again, or even like dissect that show for a workshop one day and be like, just for different conversations. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's passion, man.
Sorry, that might have been.
It's passion, though. It's like cussing. A lot of people are not, and it's just, not everybody loves it, but some people who cuss, that's their passion coming out. That's what I actually have to tone it back, because that's my crying, is I'll drop an F-bomb and I'm like, ooh. And then,
maybe you need a new passion.
I gotta practice not cussing, because I offend Noelle every time I do it.
Jeff,
and then she cries.
just practiced 6 times not cussing. So I'm a crier and a cusser. Good God.
Oh, funny. Okay, so we've got a question on here, and I'm kind of curious what your answer is going to be to this. We have Sean O'Toole, who is asking us,
hey,
what are our favorite tools or things that mics, what do we use that we would recommend? Which is the most common question that Jeff and I always get is, what's our equipment?
Yeah. Equipment.
And I always say, first and foremost, this little thing.
Yeah.
You have to use it.
I would agree.
So what do you use? Do you use a microphone? Do you use a lav mic? What do you use lighting? What are you using when you're shooting your videos? How about your professional video?
Yeah, my professional videos, it's a lav mic. That's it. A lav mic. My videographer's got his camera on a gimbal and he's got his headset in. Nope. That's what you roll with.
Just a tripod, yeah.
Yeah, tripod. Yeah. To be honest, I've gone through the equipment phase of the DJI Osmo, the Gorilla Joby, all sorts of things. And I've really just figured it out, and we added and rehumanized. But on the go stuff, I got a pop socket, say what? Pop socket. And I figured out my arm angle to get the best lighting, because this is the easiest. When I got to hook stuff up, it just takes away from the moment. And so I've gotten really good at this ninja, right? Like, where are we shooting? How are we doing it? These AirPods are really nice for kind of cutting out noise. But when I'm doing my listing videos, it's a lav mic. We're paying attention to where natural light is. And then the rest is done in editing. But I don't let myself get held up. It's really simple. These microphones are just so good on phones now. Depending on what you're shooting, right? If I'm going to go in the studio and do Q&As and how-tos, I'm going to get my ring light and a couple backfills and a lav mic just to kind of have sound separate. But we'll record off the phone and the lav mic. That's about it.
Yeah.
Simple.
I think the answer to the question too, Sean, is, which, by the way, MyLink solution, good stuff right there. A little plug.
Sure.
But I think the answer to the question is, it depends what you're doing. But Jesse's the great example of the content that he's delivering does not require fancy equipment. And so you don't need it. So it just depends on your content.
Nope. Yeah. I love the pop socket, because then you're getting away from the whole lobster claw, or like, hey, how you doing? No, oh my God, my thumb's in the way. It's out of the way, folks. Get it. It's like, you can get these things for 20 cents. You can get them, it's easy. You don't get anything in the way. Some people never even thought about this. Like, when we were down at Rehumanize, I was with Christoph Chu, who does this he's like, this pop socket was my best takeaway. I'm like, it says the luxury agent selling $100 million homes.
You're the only one I've ever heard say that, because most people will say like stabilizers, and I always say I just do this because it's better than holding the phone.
Same idea.
But
I think I got something in my backpack here. Yeah. It is, but the pop socket stabilizes it because you're not clutching the phone. But I would think this is probably the next one that I use the most. This is the mini Joby Gorilla. It's got the clip on here that holds the phone. It could go into portrait mode if I want to get creative and do different still shots, or capture me jumping in a pool or riding a train, or I don't know, anything. We don't have trains here. What am I talking about?
I also
I'll answer your question.
I agree. I think that little guy is just fine. I also have the bigger ones when I've got my bigger camera on. Sean, I've told you before, I've got a Canon 80D when I'm actually vlogging and traveling. For people that really want to know the higher end stuff, my videographer, we are using Sony A7S2s, the old school style, and I used to be big on stabilizers too. And Jeff gave me a hard time this weekend because I made a kind of a joke of a live video at one of my open houses this weekend. For all of you people, that is one of my #1 asked questions. How do you do a live at an open house? And generally I say, don't do a live at your open house. At least don't give a whole tour. So if anybody wants to see that sample, they can go on my page and scroll back to Saturday and you'll see what I did. But I basically just walked around with my phone in my hand and said, you don't need to do more than just say, hey, I'm here, come find me and get a treat. And like, there's something special in the house, you have to come and see it. Because as soon as you start videoing all that stuff, that's boring. People don't want to come back and watch that. Blah, it's not good content.
That's not anymore. I think it had its place a handful of years ago, but like, it's also though, like the way I look at it for lives is you don't do it on the actual open house day. You do it on a Friday. You do it something different and recognize, hey, you can't make it to the open house this weekend. I'll give you a quality tour here, or do a video, but then go back in and interact in the questions. Because there's a great friend of mine, Melanie Gallia, up in Fort McMurray. That's Northern Canada. Right? Like people ain't making, or like oil workers are coming up there. So you can't make it into the open house, but scouting out places, you know, from different locales, right? So but like you say, have that little egg. You're popping in today. Here's what's going on. Say the magic word. You're going to have something from Caribou or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, to be honest, that was exactly why I did my live this weekend, was because it was pouring rain outside and I knew I wasn't going to get very much traffic. And, wanted to show people I was at an open, you know?
Yeah. The tools are there now.
It's a good point too. Sharon did a webinar today with a guy who does social media really well. And he brought up a good point. He said like 5 years ago when you were creating content, like any content was fine. And then like 2 years ago, you started to have to target it because otherwise it's, it's starting to get diluted. But today it's got to be like hyper targeted, because if it's not, it's just so diluted right now that, like you said, in our markets in big cities, you can't just go out there and do something. You got to do something like Melanie Finetti, where she puts on she put on a birthday cap and said happy birthday to Gary Keller over the weekend while she was at her open house. But it probably brought attention to herself because she was doing the streamers, whatever you call that thing, for the happy birthdays. And you got to be goofy. You got to do something to bring attention to yourself.
Yep. Okay, I've got a question for you on your listing videos that you are doing, because they're phenomenal. They are good.
Thank you.
I will admit it. I will say I enjoy them. Are you the one that is scripting those out? Because you guys are very, very, very clever on your scripts. It's what makes those videos work, in my opinion. You can show a tiny little townhome that nobody really cares about, and you can make it look phenomenal. And it's because your personalities come shining through. So are you like writing out a script the whole way through, or what? Kind of talk us through that process.
Yeah, so we don't script at all. We have our talking points. We'll have like 3 or 4 points we want to cover, and we just pretty much impromptu. We kind of know we'll do 2 or 3 takes of like the layout and the vibe. And now my partner Addison, he's been with me now coming up on 2 years. So prior to that, it was me doing it all solo with my videographer. So we before it was like Daniel-san and the Karate Kid, right? Wax on, wax off. Then all of a sudden I figured out the crane kick and I'm the teacher, right? So there was a lot of guidance from my videographer, Ron Phillips from Click Splash Wow. Amazing. Yeah, I call him kind of the godfather of videographers for that style of HGTV meets MTV Cribs. And we just choreographed our dance, right? And then I kind of thought in my head, being what's going to be entertaining, insightful, and different that shows my personality. Now, the fun thing for me is, because I've done hundreds of them, I now get to do them with Addison, who has a little bit of a different personality, and we go back and forth and we have fun, but nothing is scripted, right? If we can't think of a line, we kind of throw it at each other and be like, how should we word that? Try that again. But zero script. We should kind of show up on the day and be like, we're like, I think probably like, hey, what are you wearing today? Hey, we're going to do jeans and button-ups, or hey, bring your hat, or that's it. And we kind of plan our outfits. That's about it. A couple guys doing that. And then we just go live, because that's like the best feeling. Like, we find if we rehearse it or it's too scripted, it gets robotic. And then you don't feel the feels, and the passion in the moment doesn't come up. If you lock yourself into a script, you're not making a movie that's going to the box office, right? You're like, what if something about this lifestyle, like, oh my gosh, what's happening there? You got to feel it, and it's got to be captured, right? And that's how you'll keep people watching, right? And whether the home's there or not, they're now connecting with your passion. We got people watching our stuff who aren't even buying houses. It's just so they see joy and they want joy. Sorry, that was macro level.
I love it.
But we don't script.
No, so I actually figured that was your answer. And I'm very much the same way when I'm doing my videos that come across as very scripted. In fact, the one that I've had that's had the most views was a cribs video, ironically.
Yep.
And it was just me. It was one time through, we walked around the office and it was me just being stupid, just being myself and saying whatever came out of my mouth. And I think that's part of the thing with the lives and the authenticity is just people want to get to know you. You know, it's the whole reason that saying used to be, you want to do business with people you know, like, and trust, right? And so if you're authentic, it just comes from.
And that's exactly it too, where it's like, and we're seeing less of the pushback from even our own industry. And more people are understanding the power of video in the real estate business or real estate industry, because it's one of the few industries where the general public is engaged with if you do it right. You know, like, you're not doing this for like Yellow Pages advertising or, you know, the stuff that's like so corporate. I think you're not showing behind the scenes corporate stuff, but houses is relatable to everyone because most people are looking for one, live in one, have one, right? But the thing here now is like, this is how real estate is and will be and will grow going forward, right? Because of the tools that are here. It doesn't have to be how it was in the 80s, the 90s, the 60s, the 50s. It's just, and at that time when they were doing it, that was cutting edge. Real estate does not have to stay that way. And we're seeing it all around us globally.
Yeah. Let me say something about scripting though, because, you know, for the three of us, like, I'm the same way. Like if when I get with my videographer, he's like, all right, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, it's just going to come to me. Cause that's just, I do enough video. Right. But we shoot enough video for other people who aren't as natural in front of the camera. And if they don't come with a script, what should have taken 15 minutes takes 3 hours. And so, when you're talking to somebody who's new to video, in my opinion, what they're saying is 100% true. Don't read a damn script. You sound like a robot. But have a script as an idea of what you want to say, and then just freelance it. Then roll with it in your own words. But if you're not prepared, you're gonna sound like an idiot, because there's a lot of people that do this and they just ramble, and it's like, oh God, I just would have.
I think I've been to a few weddings that happen that way, when you think you actually know what you're going to talk about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, one tip though, if you're getting started in listing videos, that might have been me at my wedding. Anyways, this is amazing. This is so much fun. With listings, if you're getting new into it, you write the 5 points out that you want to talk on, put it on a sheet, and either tape it to your camera or give it to your videographer, because they can edit it and say, that was great, point 1, boom. Next point is this. Remember you wrote down this, and they're just reading it back to you. And then they'll edit it together. It doesn't have to be perfect in 5 minutes. 1 point, stop, shoot, redo, or go to the next one, right? Give your script to the next, to your videographer. And you know the information, right? It's just how are you going to retain it? And the more you do this, like, this is why we're hired, right? Because people want a video now that have us in it, right? As goofy as they are, or whatever, that's what they kind of love to also show off, right? To their friends, then their friends see you. It's all layered, which is why I'm a big believer in the realtor should be in the listing video, whether it's at the intro and the outro or in between. But these old like slideshows, or not even old, like if you're doing all drone work and you're just seeing an icon in the bottom corner, like, who gives a shit? I'm sorry, but throw yourself in there, do yourself the favor, show some personality, show a little bit of insight. I don't care if you spend $10,000 on drone work. If you don't have the opportunity to showcase passion that you're able to deliver.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Just my opinion.
And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't. So basically, for all of you that just listened to that, have some bullet points, but don't have it scripted out. Have some bullet points, but don't have it scripted out.
Don't read it. Yep, exactly right. Exactly right.
Wow, this has been eye-opening. Jesse, do you have anything that you want to bring up today? We've just been asking away, but maybe you've got something that's just bubbling up to come out.
I was thinking about that, and I want to know, Noelle, we get connected at Rehumanize. We do the traditional selfie after our talks and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, what's Noelle doing here in Minnesota? Bright real estate, right? No, bright something.
Bright Birch.
Shit. Bright Birch.
Yep.
Yeah. Where do you come up with your ideas for your branding, for your real estate, right? Because the stuff I'm seeing, like you're following me, I'm following you, right?
Ooh.
Like, love it. So how much time are you allocating into your daily to create video? Because I understand video is part of the business. Like you're doing these instead of giving out 10,000 flyers, right? To build these things, right? Where does the creativity come from for you? Like for the people following me who see that I'm on here, we want to know about the goodness down in Minnesota and your failed bottle cap kick. I don't think I can top that with the video, so I'm not going to. Well done, by the way. Check out your bottle cap. But what how did you get into video this way? I'm flipping it back on you.
Yeah, well, so for me, my creativity is kind of weird. It's just there in my head usually. It'll show up, but it's usually prompted by something I saw on YouTube. I'm big into watching YouTube. I watch it almost every single day, even if I've got just 10 minutes to scroll through YouTube. I'm watching the commercials that are coming out, and I'm watching stuff. So like the bottle cap challenge. Obviously, if you're on YouTube at all, you've probably seen way too many of them. Yep. I haven't seen as many of them on Facebook, and I was like, I don't know, the storyline, I drew it out with stick figures. Yep. It was very fancy so that my videographer could get the idea that I had in my head. That's usually where things go awry, is between him and me. We've got to have the same communication. Sometimes getting this out into his head is hard. But YouTube, I'm a big advocate of spending time on YouTube and figuring out what other creators are doing, what works, and then how can I take that back and apply it to real estate, and what are people going to want to see, right? And and unlike you, I actually don't do that very many listing videos. I do very few of them, partially because we list things and in a day they're gone, right? Bigger projects, I'll list them, or I'll do listing videos, and I'll use my son. So when I started doing video, it was with my son in this little red suit, and we called him Realtor Boy. And so he went out and showed the houses, because I didn't want to be on camera. Nobody wanted to look at this on camera. And then somebody told me that I needed to be on camera. So I tried it, and I hated it. I hate it. I'm a former professional photographer. So that was my background before real estate. So I do have some technical skills there, but I liked to be on the other side of the camera. I didn't want to be in front of it. When you're not used to it, you're not used to it. Doesn't matter who you are. So anyway, but I had all these ideas that for me, just like you, I just have creative ideas. I've got to get them out or I'm going to explode. And why not use it for what we're doing and working on?
Totally. I love it. And it was interesting. I would not I look at other creators for inspiration, but like going on their daily, capturing like what's trendy and what's trending, what can you piggyback on, like just kind of catching up in like the ice bucket challenges or the get up challenge or the bottle. Like, I think there's a lot of fun that kind of keeps you relevant in between it all and shows the personality, shows what's going on, right? Like, so cool. On point.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not huge.
Do you have an in-house videographer?
What was that?
Do you have an in-house videographer?
We do. So when we opened up the brokerage, for me, that was the whole reason why. I wanted to have a video-based brokerage, basically. So we are a real estate company, but we're also a media marketing company. And so we're using our videos more to highlight local businesses, to highlight things that are going on. And then on Instagram, it's amazing because you can cross tag and hashtag and geotag and do all this stuff. And you can do a lot of that same stuff on Facebook, but That's where the production stuff comes in. And now for me, Facebook Live is where the authenticity comes through. Although I am a goofball in my videos generally, even when they're produced, and can't help it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. I was always kind of curious there, and I have to do less digging now.
Yes. Now you don't have to go back as far, and thankfully,
exactly,
because they get worse and worse as you go back.
That's everybody. Jesse, I
but
think
here's the thing though, like you go back, like you can see our first videos on YouTube. Like that's a beautiful thing. If you think this is how it was the first time I went on camera, good Lord, no. Right? And it gives hope to others. Like we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
totally. It's all true.
Right?
I'd like to see you do. I'd like to see you do some of these fun things because I am similar to Noelle in the sense I do modeling. Actually, I model some videos after hers just to kind of poke at her, and I would love to see you guys do that. I think you and Addie have a good connection, and I think it'd be fun to see you guys create because you do listing really well, you do authentic really well. But why don't you throw a parody in there sometime? Do something fun. That would be
cool. Yeah. I think that we've had a couple discussions about that. Like, hey, let's carve out Wednesdays to kind of get creative together and have some fun. So I appreciate that. That is something that's on the radar.
Tag us when you do it.
To execute it. We will. We will.
Well, and that's the thing. You do have to carve out the time for it, right? So even today, super busy day. I'm doing deals too, people. I'm not just doing video, just like we were talking about before we get on here. And I took an hour and a half and just sat with my videographer and we went over the week's schedule and what's going on, what have we done recently, what's coming up. And then when you realize that there's nothing in your video pipeline, just like if you realize there's nothing in your listing pipeline or your appointments pipeline, you got to put some stuff in there. You got to keep going and get ideas in there, or all of a sudden you're just going to have a week and there's no videos. And then your audience is like, what's going on? Where are you? Where's your videos?
Yep. And then 1 week turns into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turns into 3 weeks. It's applicable to a lot of those habits that we have to keep going. Healthy habits that we have to keep. Right?
And two, it's equivalent to, so I had somebody last week ask me after I put that bottle challenge out, somebody messaged me and said, hey, can you give me the breakdown of how many deals you're getting because you're doing videos? Okay. I want to know, like, so that I can make sure that it makes sense for me to do videos. And I basically wrote back and said, no, there's no breakdown. There's no breakdown. Like everybody that's a client of mine or that was a client of mine is pretty much a friend on Facebook. And hopefully I'm staying top of mind, but there's no breakdown of it. You just have to trust the process and know that that's one of your ways of staying in front of people. And just like when real estate gets busy and your deals get going and you're so busy, if you quit doing the phone calls or you quit doing all those other daily touches, it's the same thing with videos. If you quit doing the videos, those social media touches then die down. And then all of a sudden, you need business and you haven't been keeping up.
Totally. But I also think there's a bigger play too, in a sense where it's not like, don't necessarily look at video for lead gen. Look at video to make people's lives better, to make your own better. Like to go back in time. My uncle said to me, he wishes he had a video of his mom when she was 24 to hear what she sounded like. Photo, don't do that. We have these opportunities to create and capture moments that then can blend into different areas of life and different chapters of life, right? Like, and then all the spin-off happens of that. But I think if you are solely looking at this from just a lead gen, it's just, I think you're roadblocking yourself, right?
Well, and again, and that authenticity piece goes away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to video, though, that's what I tell people all the time is that you just shift your mindset and turn your camera on when you're doing life. Because like you just said, Jess, you just made a good point. I would be really cool to hear my grandparents when they were younger, but that didn't exist then. But our future grandkids will get to hear us. And that's really cool. And so it's not even about creating videos to create business. It's creating video to create memories. and then you're authentic and you're putting it on social and people will resonate and people will follow. And then all of a sudden, guess who they remember when they need to buy a house?
Yep.
Exactly. Right. And these are these things like, that's where I think vlogging can now be different. I think vlogging a lot of times, even like half a dozen years ago, was done differently. Like there's micro vlogging, there's micro influencers, there's just vlogging your own, the Jesse journey, so that my kids and my great grandkids and everyone could see what was going on in my life. It's the same thing like Gary Vee says too, fan, right? Oh, my kids are going to be able to see what I created and just how I chose to live life. Right. And I think that's really special. It was my grandpa's 86th birthday yesterday, and he took a picture with my daughter, and they're close. They're friends. They get it. And he's like, man, sure would have been nice to take a picture with my great grandpa. That's what the 86-year-old said.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he's like, isn't it incredible that you now get a photo and a video and a filter put over your face so you can have something fun, right? Like it's amazing. Like so many people slag tech, but think about it, right? Like it can be used in so many good ways. And I think that's where I'm starting to get more on my soapbox. And these next round of speaker tours and keynotes and workshops is get polished here with video in your real estate business and watch it grow, or here's what I'm learning so that I can help pave the path so you can jump in behind that a little bit easier, right? Like we need more of it in our world for so many different reasons. And rehumanizing, again, like our crew at Bomb Bomb, that word is what I'm trying to live now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of, hey, did you see Cuevas's video? So you guys were just talking about how you take the popular thing that's going on, and you know the old person, the app, what was that called? The I did it. Face app. And so Cuevas, did you see this, Noelle? So he did it. You go search him. So Mike Cuevas, real estate marketing dude, he does really good video as well. And so he actually created a video with that, and where he's like an old man, they can't get rid of it. It's like stuck, and he can't get rid of it now. And he capitalized. It was a quick moment. He capitalized, and boom.
Yep.
That's a high level stuff, but man, it was smart. I watched it.
I got to go look.
Mm-hmm.
The Russians are listening now, though.
Oh shit, that's right. I've been infiltrated. Yeah, well, Noelle's married to an attorney, so Seth's always gonna, put the kibosh on all these.
We weren't allowed to have that app at our household. No, couldn't get it.
Yeah, not allowed.
Yeah.
Didn't see me with it.
He wrote me a letter. Seth did. Told me I was an idiot.
Well, I think we've hit our time. We've been on
Already? Oh.
Yeah,
You know what?
This is a long one.
We gotta do this live. We gotta do this in person sometime. Like get a little workshop or a little road show going here,
I know.
where we kind of like, I'm a quick jaunt to Minnie. It's an hour flight or
I think we
whatever.
hold it
Like
in
there's so many
Minnesota.
ideas here.
Meet in the middle. Meet in the middle.
We hold it in Minnesota.
Meet in the middle.
We have more lake shore here in Minnesota, I think I said this last time, than all of Hawaii, Florida, and California combined. So beat that, people on the coasts.
Well, yeah, I know the coast life, right? Now in Middle Province here, where I'm from, Manitoba, we have 100,000 lakes. We top you in Minnesota.
Oh, you're 10x. I think they call that 10x.
We 10x you, but most of those lakes are in remote regions that cannot be reached by the average human. So I am jealous that the residential has lakes in it.
Yes.
It's like, I would love life there. We're about an hour and a half from our cottage. So we enjoy the water too.
Cottage. We have cabins here.
Yeah, cottage, lake home, whichever. They're kind of the same. Yeah, cottage, home cottages, cottage country.
Don't you know?
Cabin country.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't you know that's how we do it, eh?
Well, we've come full circle, so perfect.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Love it.
Awesome, brother. We appreciate you being on, man. This has been a lot of fun. Shit, we're going on damn near an hour here, Noelle.
Yeah,
what the hell's going on here?
I knew it. I knew we
Like
could talk
fire.
for a long time.
Spitting fire. You know what? I just noticed here. Remember Gary Vee when he was doing his Q&A show, the Ask Gary Vee show? And remember how he'd sit in the conference room with like clear glass behind him? That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Like Gary doesn't do this show anymore, like the Ask Gary Vee show. is anyone, we're like 2-3 years ago, anyone down with this? Like episode 50 and 75.
Who's
Sorry,
Gary? Who?
that's what this is. Gary VEE. He sells runners.
I'll write it
He
down.
sells runners. Oh, not a fan. Is this?
Oh, well, it was great.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. We have
So much fun.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. And we will see you next week. Right, Jeff?
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll be on next week. I don't know who's going to be with us or if it's just going to be us, but we're going to be back. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be back. All
Mhm.
right. Thanks, Jesse. So fun.
Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Enjoy your vacation, Jesse, in the backyard.
You bet. You know it. Stay social, my friends.
See you, brother.
Social.